Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here with Gregory Monette Jr., right? Jr.? And we're going to talk today, besides about his journey in business and in real estate and kind of what brought him to today, but he's going to share with us what he's currently doing with land development. I know it's a topic that's been passed around our mastermind and in some other groups, and I'm curious to learn more. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, really all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. And we do that by providing the tools, the resources, and the community to really scale the business you want to have, which in turn grows the life you want to live. So Greg, hey man, welcome to our show.
Yes, sir. Thank you, John. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. Look forward to talking land. Like I said, it's been a topic that's been passed around, but before we kind of jump in those weeds, why don't you give our audience, a little bit more info about you, kind of your background in business and in real estate and what brought you to today?
Yeah, sure. So I am stationed here in Houston, Texas. My background is a little bit unique. Started off working in accounting and CPA firm. Then I jumped to commercial banking, where I learned about financing land projects, anything from commercial real estate, offices, multifamily. And then I jumped ship and I joined Lennar Homes, one of the larger builders. And I worked on a land acquisition and development team. And there I helped source individual lots and communities, help work on some master plan community developments. And then after a while, I got a little tired of the corporate, so I decided to jump ship and join a startup company, startup home builder, basically doing the same thing, set up operations, and started sourcing land deals. But we took that company from 4 lots to 50 the second year and about 85 the third year. And in the third year, we went from scattered lots, almost like a wholesaler, to building in subdivisions next to large builders like Century Community, some of your publicly traded guys.
Nice.
So in 3 years, we took them from a nobody builder to building on scattered lots to competing with the big boys. So, and now focus on doing some larger land development tracts. Like we have an 800-acre tracts, 2,300 homes on the east side of Houston, and then just kind of more infill tracts here and there on subdividing land deals. So
nice.
That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, man, that sounds like that's a lot to pack in that nutshell. Let's try to unpack a little bit. In what it sounds like, I mean, you started with accounting, right? But it seems like there was maybe always something in the background that maybe had a real estate seed planted. And I like to ask this about people. Was there any real estate in your life, any exposure, any experience, an aunt, an uncle, a friend, a cousin, an uncle who flipped houses, sold houses, was a landlord, anything like that?
Family-wise, no. I'm first generation. My mom, she always wanted to help. She always wanted to get into fix and flips, right? You watch HGTV and stuff, and it's like, hey, I want to do that, But what I've noticed is a lot of people don't have the courage to actually do your first deal.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And so for me, I got exposed to it from accounting, seeing business owners do deals and whatnot. But what really opened my eyes to it was I attended a Robert Kiyosaki event in Dallas. And that really opened my mind to investing. So much to the point where I filled out a credit card application for Chase, got approved for a $10,000 credit card, and I tried to go buy my first property on auction.com. And then
Awesome. Did it work?
Yeah, no, it didn't work. I missed out on it. But I mean, that didn't. I kept trying to find deals. I started looking at foreclosure lists. I worked at a bank, so I would print out the foreclosure list and start cold calling and sending out mailers. And then my first property that I bought, I maxed out 3 credit cards with the. I wouldn't advise anybody do this. Don't ever over leverage it.
Disclaimer.
But don't ever over leverage yourself. And this was from a credit guy, underwriter, right? But sometimes you got to do your first deal. So I maxed out 3 credit cards. I bought my first house, $22,000. I did a lot of sweat equity. I was driving from Dallas all the way to Beaumont. That's a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, but I say that's a. I know that. I mean, that's a long way.
Yeah, and I had just my wife was probably 8 months pregnant, 7 months pregnant, and so, but I was driving down there every weekend, fixing up the house. And then I think like it took maybe 30 days. We renovated it, and then we sold it for I think like $55,000. The renovation was $10,000, but it we didn't make a lot, but that opened my mind to okay, I can do this,
Yeah.
And then
It's that proof of concept, man. It's getting that first one over that mind hurdle.
That's it, and I think I share this with the audience too. Is like a lot of leveling up in life and in business is sometimes you just gotta like ignore those fears and just lock in and just do it. You take the first step. The first step ain't writing it down. The first step is, well, you write it down, but you gotta do it. Once you have proof of concept, now you got the courage to do more and bigger deals, right? But yeah, I started off wholesaling. Then I started doing fix and flips. I got tired of doing the fix and flips because the last rental I did, we did laminate flooring and redid it and everything. But as soon as I pulled up the flooring, they had termite damage.
Termite rot.
And it was like, I think 500 square feet. Bro, I patched that thing up so quick. I was like, you know what? I'm going to sell it cheap. And after this, hey, I'm doing new construction, period. And that was, I decided I wanted to do new construction back in like 2021. I had no idea how I was going to do it. And so I was in banking at the time. And so I just knew this is what I wanted to do. And so I started off land flipping. Once I got into land flipping, I'm like, hey, hit up people on Facebook. Like, what builders can I connect with? What's your resume like? I went through a couple builders and stuff. And, sometimes you find the right contract, sometimes you don't. And, but eventually it led to me learning, okay, maybe you need to go get a job where they do it at a high level
and learn.
Then you actually learn the ropes. Then once you learn the ropes, then you go out and do your own thing. Because it's hard as heck trying to do your own thing when you don't have, mentors, you don't have guidance.
Yep.
Yeah.
So much value there, right? Guys, I hope you're at home taking notes. I mean, this guy's dropping nuggets like left and right. First and foremost, you like you said earlier, you got to risk it to get the biscuit, man. You gotta take the leap. So in that position, or a question I want to ask you in that regards, was there something, because you mentioned a lot of people just can't get out of their head and make the move. Was there something that helped you mindset wise? Maybe something you listened to, a book, or I don't know, something that helped you just kind of get over that fear.
I'd say 2 things: faith
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And then knowing your big why. Like, I think when my child was born, or before my child was born, I knew, like, hey, I want this vision for my life. I want to be able to, work on my own time. I want to be able to provide value to the communities that I serve. And it's a bigger picture than me, right? And so that drive made me overcome the doubts, and also the challenge. Like, it's a 5-hour drive. I got a brand new newborn.
Yeah.
I'm 24. I'm in a new city, got a new job and everything, but I just knew I wanted different from my life, right? So I think once you set a big goal and then you put some emotion behind it and you put some people that you can't let down, then that really fuels your fire to be like, you know what, come hell or high water, I'm gonna make this happen.
Yep.
And so I think that's what helps spark that in me. So.
And then the second piece of what you said I wanted to unpack too is the whole, get around people that are doing what you want to do, right? Go get a job with folk and learn, from high level operators. Why for you was that so important versus, what a lot of people do is YouTube you, right? Try to learn that way and then go learn by error.
Right. Well, I mean, biggest for me is, like, I got 3 little kids, so I just couldn't just hop into it, right? So I had kind of stable income, so I couldn't just jump into it. But even when I was in banking, like, the reason that I jumped from development into from corporate banking to development is because I found out about a program. There was a master's program on development at Texas A&M, and I found out about that through just networking, like going to Urban Land Institute, some other organizations, and just being in the room with people doing different projects that I wanted to be involved with. And so it's important to make sure you're in the same circles of people that, are doing similar things, because this guy might be doing apartment complexes, the guy might be doing hotels. And if you newer in your career trying to figure it out, you might pick up on an idea to do something in a different lane, right? So that's where I was. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but because I knew I wanted to do real estate, I knew I wanted to do home building. And once I got into those circles, somebody said, hey, development, check it out. Never heard of it before. I never did any subdividing or anything, but just because I was in proximity to somebody that did it, that opened up the door to be like, okay, I can do this. Instead of just land wholesaling and doing that, I can do subdividing. I could actually do the development construction, but yeah, that's pretty much. And then I've always been in the corporate, like, I was a portfolio manager for companies that did mergers and acquisitions, and, like, you talking, they making buku money, like $100 million plus, and you see that they have operations in place, and you see private equity companies come in, but it's all about systems and processes. And so when you see it at that level, you're like, okay, I don't need to just figure this thing out. I need to learn from people that are already doing it at a high level. Then once I learn how to do it at a high level, you come back down, because that's how all these proven companies have done it. Don't reinvent the wheel. So
100%. I mean, I that's, with our mastermind, that is like one of the biggest things is, you got to be around people that have done everything you want to do. The guys that are doing big things, and, and it's going to help you grow and get your gap. So where are you at now? Are you still working with that company? Do you have your own company? What does all that look like? Where are you buying land?
Yeah. So right now I'm with my own company, Monet Properties Group. We are a vertically integrated real estate company. So we've got the land brokers team, they focus on acquisitions. We've got the development team, they focus on the construction. And they also do master plan communities. And then later on, we're going to have our commercial real estate group. But right now, we mainly focus on the development side, which is our biggest tract is that 800 acre piece that we have right now.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And then we're just working on trying to get more infill lots. So our strategy is, if you have a landowner, it's like, hey, I got 20 acres or I got, 200 acres. How can we maximize that? So I'll talk to my builder partners, at some of the larger builders and say, hey, what kind of lot product do you want? And then you say, hey, okay, I want a 5,000 square foot lot. I need 100 of them. So we'll take that 20 acres. We'll see how many lots we can put on there. And then we'll pre-sell them to a builder. And then we'll just take it through the entitlement process and produce finished lots. And then, of course, sell the lots to the builder. And then, the project is done. So our main focus is doing subdivisions. And then later on this year, we'll have our own home building entity so that we can, maximize our lot yield and profitability and stuff. So, but yeah.
Now, are you all over Texas? You just in Houston? Where are you focusing?
Just Houston right now.
Okay.
Houston has a really strong growth market. We got the port, we got NASA. A lot of companies are coming out here. Land is relatively cheap still. And then we've got special financing districts like MUDs, municipal utility districts. So we get reimbursements and stuff versus other states and other cities. So, but Houston right now, Houston and the Beaumont market. Okay. Eventually we'll get up to Dallas next, but Austin, we might hold off on Austin for a little bit.
What are some of the pros and cons of land development versus, let's say guys that are out there single family flipping?
Yeah. So it's all about scale. So, matter of fact, I talked to a lot of my builders in town. It's like, I'm doing like 20 houses, but I'm always chasing more lots. I always got to get single lots. Like you might hit a home run and, you buy an acre and you can replat it, but it's like you always have to chase more deals, right? Where I'm used to is if I buy a 20 acre piece or 100 acre piece, that will, if I get like 100 lots out of it and I'm only selling 4 homes a month or whatever, that gives me 2 years worth of supply, right? So the biggest thing that I always tell people is like, hey, look, start with your scatter lots first, but you don't want to be in that game forever because you're going to be deals. Find a way for you to basically almost get like a portfolio where it's like, what your revenue is going to be like for the next couple of years. So I'm speaking for more of the builder side, but it's just more at scale. That's all it is. And then it also becomes more attractive to like if you want to sell off an entire portfolio. I mean, I can put together a 20 acre piece. I can sell 100 homes a lot easier than I can sell 20 or 15. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just a little bit, and then it's more attractive to investors too, because when your margins are thin on fix and flips, and it's like you might make 30,000, you might make 50,000. You have a really small margin of error, but if you add a couple zeros to it, then it's like, okay, I can give you 15% return or 20% return over 2 years. So it just makes it a little bit easier at scale to raise capital. To make a little bit more juice on it.
Any cons?
Oh, cons? Yeah, it's capital intensive.
Capital intensive.
Super capital.
You need a lot of dough.
Yeah, like, so typical. So like the deal we're working on now, and most of the deals, you got to take it through the entitlements process. So that's basically getting the county or the city to bless your plans.
Right.
And you got to get it through engineering. You got to get all these kind of approvals. So like, it might take you 18 months before you even start turning the dirt, right? It might take 12 months through the approval process. And we get MUD districts and like special financial districts. It has to go through the Texas legislature.
Jeez.
And so, with the politics, they can shut down, they can shut down the Senate or whatever they want to, and then now your project is stalled for 6 months.
Yep.
And you got investors talking about, hey man, I thought
Where's my money? Where's my money?
And like it's so many things involved with it. Like we found out that like we our project, luckily we bought it for cheap enough to where it makes sense. But like for our detention, right? We originally I think it was like 15% detention, right? That was the county requirement. We did a drainage study. We found out we had to increase that to 19%. That's another 5%. To most people, that's not a big deal, but you essentially end up losing almost 100 to 200 homes or 200 lots, right? If you start putting money behind it, you say, hey, it's 20 grand a lot is our profit, 100 times 100, you talking almost
do
$2
the
million,
math.
right?
Yeah.
So, so it's different things like that. You find out like sometimes you might spend $500,000 in entitlements for 9 months, and then all of a sudden the economy shifts. And then now builders are not still paying the same prices, and now you got to take a haircut or you got to walk away from the deal.
Yeah.
So it's very, very capital intensive. And, unlike a fix and flip, you can walk in and be like, oh yeah, this, and this. It's visual. Everything's visual.
Right.
But when you buy land, especially at larger scale, you got
speculative.
Yeah, it's very speculative. You can't see in the ground until you start turning dirt. And everything is done on paper for the first year.
Right.
I don't know what's really going to be under the ground until I start, moving dirt. So it's a big risk, but it's high reward. So,
yeah, I mean, you gotta once again, you gotta risk it to get the biscuit, man. I appreciate you coming on here and sharing all this stuff. If there's folks out there that are down in the Houston area, or maybe just some things you said resonated with them, how can they get in touch with you? Do you got any deals that they can get in on?
Yeah. So right now, in Houston, of course, and if you ever want to look me up, it's Gregory Monette Jr. Just you can Google it. Usually, Instagram pops up, and then my LinkedIn pops up next. I'm really I market a lot on social media, so it should be easy to find. Just Gregory Monette Jr. Right now, mostly what I'm looking for is twofold. If you're a landowner or you're a wholesaler and you have land deals that's anywhere from 20 acres on up to 1,000 acres, generally no more than $35,000 per acre. That's usually what I'm looking for on the outskirts. Now, if you're more inside the loop, more closer to downtown, that'll require a special conversation because land prices are way jacked up in town. But that's not to say we can't, work something out. So if you have land deals, let's talk about them. It's easiest to submit it on our website, MonetPropertiesGroup.com. You schedule it on the Calendly, and we'll have a free consultation. We'll talk you through it. And then another way is like, hey, we do land consulting too. So if you have a deal, you're like, hey, I don't know how to put this deal together. We'll consult with you as a manager and open up our door to all of our engineers, architects, developers, builders, and basically we take it on as our project. But that's pretty much it. And then sometimes you need help dispoing the deal. I've got a good Rolodex of builders. So, you can get in touch with me about that too.
Cool. Awesome. Yep. And I'll put, I think you sent me a lot of your socials, so I'll put that all in the show notes. Gregory, man, thank you again for coming on here. You dropped a lot of good knowledge, guys. I hope you took some good notes. I hope you enjoyed the podcast as much as I did, and I will see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.